You see that? Broke my glasses. As if I couldn't look like any more of a freaking nerd. I'm convinced that I've played more games in 2021 than in any other year in my life. And that's all thanks to the fact that I've been streaming every weekday over on twitch.tv/Tamago24/7 for 8 PM UK time, 3 PM Eastern, noon Pacific. So for the first time ever, I actually feel qualified to make a video talking about my top 10 games of the year, given that this is probably the first time I've ever played 10 different games in a year. Now that being said, there are going to be some games on this list that didn't come out this year, but I did play them this year, and so I'm counting them. If you don't like it, make your own list, okay? This is mine. This is my list. First, some honorable mentions. Honorable mention number 1, Cuphead. I reviewed this game on the channel before, and I've already expressed that I think it's fantastic, but this was the year I actually beat it. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Honorable mention number 2, Downwell. This is a similar situation to Cuphead where I've showcased it on the channel before, but this was the year I actually beat it after trying for months on and off, but the result was an equally, if not more satisfying end. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Did I do it? Oh! Honorable mention number 3, The Simpsons game. A lot of people have asked me, hey Tamago, you made a video on The Simpsons skateboarding, The Simpsons road rage, and The Simpsons hit and run. Why not a video on The Simpsons game? And the truth is, I've never played it. That's not true. I played a little bit of the PS2 version when I traded my Power Rangers Wild Force Megazord for a copy of the game. Not a fair trade at all, by the way. But this year was the first time I actually played the whole game on PS3 while live streaming. Honestly, the game is not that great. Aside from the appeal of being a Simpsons game, it had nothing going for it, and the only reason I'm even talking about it here is because I feel I should mention it given that I've made videos on the other Simpsons games. I will say it is better than The Simpsons skateboarding. For what that's worth. Alright, enough honorable mentions. Now for Tamago's top 10 games of 2021. Topping it off at number 10 is Crab Game. Developed in just a few weeks by YouTuber Danny, Crab Game, in the short time I've played it, has delivered me some of the funniest gaming moments I've had all year. I also want to commend Danny for the completely original and not at all ripped off premise of the game. Honestly, I think he should sell the film rights to it. Hey, maybe Netflix will pick it up. Or Mr. Beast, whatever. Number 9 is Kena Bridge of Spirits. This game looks like it came straight out of Pixar. From the cutscenes to the gameplay, it is gorgeous. This is Ember Lab's debut video game, and for an indie studio to produce a game that not only looks this good, but is a lot of fun too on their first time round, is really impressive. I did at times have issues with the gameplay not feeling as smooth or as intuitive as I would have liked. For example, you can't climb out of water in this game. You have to find a specific footpath out of the water. You're telling me this girl can defeat 10-foot tall rock monsters, but can't bend her knees and use some upper body strength?
That just makes no fucking sense. I mean, it's just bullshit.
But either way, these things didn't take away too heavily from the experience, and after playing it, I'm hopeful for what the studio does next. Number 8, Astro's Playroom. This is essentially Sony's tech demo for the PlayStation 5's DualSense controller, but it's also a fully fledged game with challenge and incentives to keep progressing. Each level represents a different part of the PlayStation 5 system, and at the end of each level, you come across a stage honoring each of the previous PlayStation consoles. There are a bunch of Sony-themed collectibles to find, as well as Easter eggs that are related to different iconic PlayStation characters. Honestly, if you're a PlayStation fanboy like me, then this game will be an absolute joy to play. And did I mention the haptics? That controller is really something else. Like, how they make it feel like I'm on ice through a controller, like, how'd they do that? Number 7, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. This was one of my most anticipated games of the year, and in fact, I'd say it was one of the main incentives behind me getting my PS5. It's freaking beautiful. I've been a fan of the series since the PS2 days, and even replayed the original PS2 trilogy on stream in preparation for the release of this game. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is Insomniac showing off just how pretty they can make their games. The gameplay is the best it's ever been. Of course you have the classic platforming and run and gun action, but the addition of the dash mechanic was a game changer when it comes to combat. The only aspect of the gameplay I didn't like were the sections where you play as Glitch, this spider-like robot. I found them irritating and confusing, and as cute as Glitch is, I wasn't a fan. Also, there was literally a game-breaking glitch, which would have required me to have restarted the entire game from scratch had I not had a backup save file. And even then, I had to redo a significant portion of the game. The story and characters were kind of whatever. Like, if you're a little kid who's still learning about the power of kindness and friendship, then maybe this will do something for you. But if you're a person with any life experience whatsoever, then this story is gonna feel straight out of Nick Jr. or whatever the kids are watching these days. Coco Melon, I guess. Anyway, I liked the game. I liked it. It's in my top 10. I liked it. It was good. In case that wasn't clear. Number 6. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. I can't lie to you. After seeing how people were roasting Marvel's Avengers, and then seeing that this game was being developed by the same people who made that game, I expected this game to be nothing but ass. Straight up trash. The only reason I got this game is because a friend of mine said it was one of his favorites of the year. And now it's in my top 10, so I guess he was onto something. Funnily enough, Guardians of the Galaxy is actually a lot like Ratchet & Clank in that it's a group of friends going on an intergalactic adventure and shooting aliens. And with the exception of the gameplay not being quite as satisfying as Ratchet & Clank's, this game does a lot to improve upon the formula. The story is engaging, the environments are breathtaking, and the 80s soundtrack is a lot of fun, but will absolutely get this video claimed, so you're just gonna have to take my word for it. They have an option for content creators where you can put royalty-free music over the game while you're streaming. If I turn on the licensed one, what song will they play?
Hey, listen!
Easy for you to say. You've got a pointy stick.
But what really sells this game for me is the dynamic between the team. Admittedly, I've never been a fan of the Guardians. I'd never heard of them before the movie, and after I watched the movie, I still didn't care. I haven't even seen the sequel. So believe me when I say that if you don't care about these characters now, this game will make you care. The game is funny and charming and unapologetically cheesy with a mechanic based entirely around giving the right pep talk to your team so they can fight better while 80s music blasts in the background. The gameplay could feel pretty repetitive at times, and some of the collectible costumes for these characters were straight up trash, just awful. But hey, at least you didn't have to pay for them.
I was like, damn, nigga, what you doing out here with all this ass?
Number 5. Deathloop. You might know it as a game with the stylish as hell trailers, mechanics that were lifted straight out of Dishonored, and the black guy with the smooth voice. No, not me, the other one. Deathloop delivered the most unique gaming experience I've had in a very long time. In this game, your objective is to assassinate 7 targets before the end of the day, but if you fail, the day resets and you start over. For the record, you will fail. A lot. The whole idea behind the gameplay is that there are 4 locations and 4 times a day, but you can only visit 1 location per time of day, so you have to carry out specific actions in a certain order so you can eliminate all 7 targets before the day ends and starts over again. If it sounds confusing, that's because it is, but once you get familiar with it, it clicks and then it is amazing. This is one of those games where it's a hard sell because it's hard to explain. Like, how do you explain how a random online player infiltrating your single player game in order to kill you and force you to reset all your progress can be fun? That's why they had to have about 1,000,001 ads for this thing, and still nobody knew what the hell it was about. Well, I know, and I'm telling you, it's a fun time. The ending of the story is absolutely rubbish though, I will say that. Number 4. Spider-Man Miles Morales. I've made a video on the original Spider-Man PS4 game already, so I'll keep it short. Insomniac did it again. Number 3. I'll say more. Miles Morales gave me more of that exciting Spider-Man action with a fresh story and a fresh face. And no, I'm not talking about the fact that Peter has a completely new face in this game.
You already know who it is. I've never seen you a day in my life.
I never knew much about Miles as a character prior to the first game where he appeared as a side character and the Spider-Verse film, so it was a pleasure getting to know him more through this game, and I'm looking forward to seeing him and Peter working together in the upcoming Spider-Man 2 game. I'm not gonna say the GameSpot line, so don't worry. I said I'm not gonna say it. Number 3. Exaggerated swagger of black teen. You knew I was gonna say it, come on. Number 3. Little Nightmares and Little Nightmares 2. Little Nightmares is a creepy, atmospheric adventure game where you must survive encounters with grotesque beasts as you inch your way to freedom. This game is very much a mystery in that you're dropped in the middle of it with no context and there's no dialogue either, so you have to figure out what's going on using clues in the surroundings. That's what we in the biz call environmental storytelling.
Wow.
The puzzles are challenging, the encounters are tense, and you feel the high stakes when you're playing. I honestly felt like I was trying to save this kid. Little Nightmares 2 builds on the original and is an improvement in every single way, which is high praise considering the first game was already so good. Since the games are only a few hours long each, I would absolutely recommend getting them both, turning off the lights, and immersing yourself in the world of Little Nightmares. Or just watch me play it on my stream archive channel, Tamago VODs, but I mean, you can do what you want. It's just like an option for like, if you want to check me out. Number 2. Apex Legends. This continues to be my favorite multiplayer game. It's just so perfect. The weapons, the movement, the combat, it's just mwah, mwah, mwah. They introduced arenas this year, a whole new game mode that switches the dynamics to give you a different but still familiar experience, so you can have a whole new type of fun free of charge. Apex Legends is a dangerous game for me to play if I have anything I should be doing, because the phrase "one more game" is universally understood to be a lie, and yet when it comes to this game, I can't stop saying it because I can't stop playing it. And number 1, Ghost of Tsushima. If you watch the streams regularly, you knew this was coming. This is not only my favorite game I played this year, but it has a safe spot as one of my favorite games of all time. Everything about Ghost of Tsushima was done masterfully, and I mean everything. The story was gripping with elements both large in scope and intimately personal. The characters were so endearing and believable that their problems felt like mine, and I was compelled to help them even just for side missions. The combat is so robust, fluid, and varied that no matter how many fights I got into, I was always eager for the next one. And the world, a beauty. I knew this game would be good when I saw the trailers for it and I saw it was from Sucker Punch, but never did I expect it would turn out to be one of my all-time best gaming experiences. The Icky Island DLC came out for it this year, and it was no question I was gonna pick it up. When I beat the game, I started getting all the collectibles, and when I got all the collectibles, I went for the Platinum Trophy, and when I got the Platinum Trophy, I started collecting flowers. Flowers, bruv. They're not even finite, they just spawn indefinitely, and I was collecting them.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
Ghost of Tsushima is without a doubt my game of the year, and almost every game on this list I played live over on twitch.tv/Tamago247 so be sure to check me out every weekday at 8 PM UK time, 3 PM Eastern, noon Pacific, or check out the stream archive channel Tamago VODs. Click that join button to get full access to over 20 hours of exclusive content, and until next time, Jesus, why are there so many planes? Are we going to war?
Omega